Hello there. Greetings. My name is Saeed. I am an online English language teacher. This is another episode of the series of lessons devoted to the IELTS vocabulary for the speaking section. And in this episode, we're going to discuss the topic which is called education. Okay, so you are likely to be asked questions about your studies during part 1, or you might have to talk about a class, a teacher, or a school memory in your IELTS speaking part 2, or maybe even give your opinions on education in part 3. Therefore, being able to call on a wide range of vocabulary to talk about education is very important. As always, a little reminder that you need to focus and pay a specific attention at the expressions and words that are highlighted in yellow or orange color, whatever is more appealing in your eyes, okay? So, we're now going to the speaking section part 1. Okay, IELTS speaking part 1. We're going to talk about the part 1 style questions. And the first question that the examiner is asking: are you studying English at a school? And the girl named Michelle, she is giving her answer. Yes, I'm taking an intensive course at a local private language school. I attend classes 3 times a week. These classes are really interesting, and the teacher is quite patient and positive. I think these are very important qualities for a good teacher. Now, question number 2. Would you say you are a good student? The girl named Susan is responding. I'm okay, I think. I'm pretty good at meeting deadlines and I'm keeping up with my studies. Plus, I find it quite easy to learn things by heart, which is useful when learning a foreign language or when learning a language. And question number 3. When you were younger, did you enjoy your time at school? Our old friend Chang is responding. Yeah, I liked school. It was an ordinary state school, nothing special. A single-sex school, which I'm not sure I liked, but the teachers were great. I had lots of friends and I never played truant like some pupils there. That's a great expression here, by the way. Now, my friends, we shall go on to the speaking part 2, okay? And this is the cue card for the topic of education. Describe a time during your education that you really enjoyed. You should say when this period was, where you were, what you were studying at the time, and say why you were so happy. As always, guys, maybe you have noticed this particular tradition when I'm on this particular slide. I'm always suggesting you to pause the video for a couple of minutes to allow yourself to have 1 minute of preparation. And when you're done with making notes, you can also act out this very question just as if you are in the very test environment, like taking the IELTS and talking directly to the examiner and giving a 2-minute speech non-stop, fluently on this very topic. And then when you're done, you can, swipe the sweat off and resume playing and see the Band 9 model answer. And of course, we're not going to do anything of that because we are the presenter. Well, why do I say we if I'm the only person sitting here? Okay, so I'm the presenter and I need to go on to the model answer for the Band 9 score. And here we go. The girl named Caroline, she's giving the answer. I'd like to tell you about my time at university. I was a mature student. I didn't go to university until I was 25, and it was my first time away from my parents, so it was very exciting. I was doing a bachelor's degree, and it was a bit of a challenge. Some people take a year out, but I've been away from education for 8 years. Plus, I had to work my way through uni, so I was very busy. And sitting exams at the end of each year was a new experience for me as well, but I really enjoyed higher education. Learning about a subject I loved, history, and the social life was great as well. I don't think I've ever had so many friends. I had my graduation ceremony last year in the local cathedral, and I know my parents were really proud. So, yeah, that was a really happy time. I'm thinking of doing a master's degree soon, though that might be through distance learning as I have a full-time job now. What a great simple text, right? But it's kind of full-fledged, like everything is here, like interjections, relevant pauses, which do not stand for like a person, having been lost and thinking about the word to choose, but these are like logical pauses, so I think it's really cool. And my reading was really awesome too. Well, okay, don't listen to that. Now let's go to the speaking part 3. Part 3 style questions. What qualities do you think a good teacher has? The girl named Anita, she's responding. They should be patient. They should be subject specialists and be able to explain the subject clearly. They should give feedback quickly. For example, not hang on to essay for ages like some of my teachers. Sounds like a complaint to me. The next question from the examiner. What are the advantages of studying on a distance learning course? I think it's pretty relevant right now because due to the pandemic, so the COVID-19, lots of colleges and universities are offering the distant learning courses right now, so it's pretty much timely asked question. So the girl named Flory is responding. It's a more flexible way of studying, especially if you have a job. Tuition fees are usually cheaper. I might argue with this one, but maybe this is true. But you have to be very motivated. And I would imagine more people fall behind with their studies compared to face-to-face classes. This one is really like a really good observation about falling behind with their classes. And the final question, do all children get equal opportunities in education? The girl named Julie believes she says that, in my country, I think it's quite equal, but in the UK, I've heard that most people who go to the top universities have studied at public schools. If you have to be very rich to study in a school like that. They're usually boarding schools as well, so the fees are enormous. Wow, what an interesting answer, right? So I guess, my friends, we're done with the speaking part 1, 2, 3 questions, and now we shall move on to what? That's right, to vocabulary. And here we go, definitions. To attend classes means to go to classes, like to visit these classes, like to appear in the class, right? So basically it's a very good thing to use when you're speaking on the speaking part of the IELTS. Bachelor's degree is an undergraduate course which usually lasts 3 to 4 years. Okay, that's true, but some cases it can last up to 5 years. Boarding school, a school where pupils live during term time. So it's basically like they have dormitories or places to stay. Distance learning. This is a way of studying where tuition is carried out over the internet or by post. That's true. Face-to-face classes. As opposed to distance learning, the traditional way of studying in a classroom with colleagues and a teacher. I wouldn't say colleagues, maybe classmates or course mates. To fall behind with your studies, it means to progress less quickly than others. To give feedback, to offer guidance on a student's work. A graduation ceremony. It's an event where a successful student receives his or her academic degree. To keep up with your studies stands for to not fall behind. Next, we have higher education. Well, this is the education usually in a college or university that is followed after high school or secondary school. An intensive course, this is the course that offers a lot of training in order to reach a goal in as short time as possible. To learn something by heart means to memorize it. A mature student means a student who is older than average student's body and who has usually returned to education after a period of work. Okay, for example, if I graduated high school and I began working for like 5 or 6 years, and then something clicked in my brain and I was like, I want to get a college degree. And then I went to study, but I was older than my group mates, my course mates and stuff. Master's degree, this is the period of study which often follows the completion of a bachelor's degree or is undertaken by someone who is regarded as capable of a higher level academic course. To play truant, well, that means to stay away from classes without permission. Alright, so I would call it like a slacking or something like that. So when you are slacking on your classes, you're like not attending them, like kind of skipping them. So you're playing truant. Private language school, this is an independent school run as a business concern. So it's like a language center or some kind of company that is providing language learning services. Public schools, exclusive independent schools in the UK. To sit an exam means to take an exam. A single-sex school, well, this is a school where only boys or girls are attending, which means like boys are studying with boys only and girls are studying with the girls only. So this is like a totally opposite school, for example, if you compare it with a mixed-sex school. State school is a school paid for by public funds and available to the general public. Subject specialist, well, that will be a teacher who has a great deal of knowledge about the subject that they teach. To take a year out means to spend a year working or traveling before starting a university. Tuition fees, well, this is the money paid for a course of study. And finally, to work your way through university, that means to have a paid job while studying to support yourself financially. Well, my friends, I guess we're done with this amazing topic of education, and that was the final slide of our video lesson. So thank you so much for staying with me, and I hope that you liked and enjoyed the material presented in this very video course. And I will be very happy if you haven't done so already, but if you hit the subscribe button and click the like button if you liked the video. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next episodes, because as I have already said in the previous ones, we have so much planned ahead, probably like months ahead, and the topics that are coming will be very interesting, and you will have like heaps of vocabulary, a lot of interesting phrases and expressions that will help you through your way to perfection on the IELTS speaking part of the test. Thank you so much, and peace. Bye.